Welcome back. So here we are picking up where we left off. Here I'm just taking some wood putty and putting it on the edges. This is going to give the edges a smooth finish that'll take paint well. We'll put this filler on all the exposed edges all around the cabinet. After the putty had dried, I took some 120 grit and sanded all the edges smooth and sanded the entire box to get it ready to prime. I did 2 coats of 123 primer, and between coats I lightly sanded with a 220 grit sandpaper. Same steps as I did on the carcass. Sanded smooth, put 1 coat of primer down, went back with a 220 grit, put on a second coat. Trying to get the smoothest surface possible before I paint. After the second coat of primer dried, we hit it again with the 220 grit. It's time to paint. For this project, I went with Benjamin Moore Advanced Cabinet Paint and Black. I think it'll give a good contrast with the top that I'll be putting on this. Here I'm just trying to get a good even coat for this first coat. This paint flattens out pretty well, so I just want to make sure that I'm getting good coverage. We're doing the same steps that we did with the primer. After the first coat's down, we wait for it to dry, sand with 220, wipe off the dust, go back with the second coat. Here you can see me going over the carcass with 220 after the first coat had dried. For the second coat, I'm focusing on trying to get complete even coverage all over the project. Here I'm using a handheld light to make sure that there's no areas that I'm missing and all the paint looks even. After the paint's dry, it's time to get to some hardware. Here, I'm measuring the location that I'm going to put the L brackets on. Here I use a 1-2-3 block to help set the location of the bracket, and I use a center punch to mark a spot to drill the screw. Now I just repeat this process 9 more times. With the brackets mounted for the top, I flip the box on its side and I can get started adding the feet. This was pretty simple. I just referenced the feet to the corner and drilled them in place. Here I'm just hitting the top with 120 grit, getting it ready for stain. I'm using a Minwax oil-based stain on this top. I've used this stain on a few other pieces in our front room as well. Here, I'm adding some custom rails to hang Glencairn glasses from the top. Make sure to glue your pieces together before you add stain. Ask me how I know. I pre-drill and add screws just to secure these pieces to make sure they don't go anywhere. I cut a scrap piece to the same width as the base of a Glencairn to use as a spacer when laying out these rails. Now we just have to repeat this process and glue and screw. The next day, I go back with my wipe-on poly and I add a couple coats to this top. After everything had dried, we can start putting this together, seeing how the fit up is and how it's going to look. Here I'm just happy that all my math worked out and the top looks pretty good on top of this cabinet. With the top on and in place, we can go ahead and screw in the other side of the brackets into the top. Here I'm drilling the holes for the Euro style hinges that I'll be using on the doors. For this, I'm using the Miles Craft Cabinet Mate. Now I'm just drilling the pilot holes for the screws to attach the hinge. With the hinges attached to the doors and the hinges mounted, we can get these doors on the cabinet. Well, that's not right. Thankfully, these hinges have so much adjustability. You can get them lined up just right. Now I just have to add some doorknobs, and this project's done.